structure, that's what it is.
It's like he's had a tar bath in it. God, what they've done to it.
The captain has no comment. It is the nightmare that most of us hoped would never happen in Prince William Sound.
March 24th, Good Friday. The pride of the Exxon fleet, the 1,000-foot Exxon Valdez, sits stranded atop the rocks of Bly Reef. Her belly ripped open, the tanker has released nearly 11 million gallons of North Slope crude into the sparkling waters of Prince William Sound. The nightmare has just begun. I'm John Tracy. In the next hour, we will examine an American tragedy played out on the waters of Alaska's Prince William Sound. An event that forced many Americans to reevaluate man's role in protecting his environment. An event that has had a profound effect on life here in the last frontier. It is the story of America's biggest oil spill, the wreck of the Exxon Valdez. For 12 years, environmentalists had warned about it. Fishermen had feared it. But in the early hours of Good Friday morning, it becomes painfully apparent that no one had planned for it. The Exxon Valdez runs aground shortly after midnight, just 20 miles from port. For the first 15 hours, the tanker bleeds nearly 11 million gallons of North Slope crude into the water, without a single boom around the growing slick, without a single skimmer in the water to scoop up the oil.
They're not making any attempts to clean it up as yet. It seemed like to me that you could have had something going. Gee, it's been nice weather here.
The Alyeska Pipeline Service Company operates the terminal at Valdez and has a contingency plan for a spill this size. It looks fine on paper. It is failing miserably in practice. The company's emergency response team was disbanded in 1981 with state approval to save money. It takes Alyeska hours to organize a crew to respond. An emergency barge must be loaded. It's then unloaded. The handful of aging skimmers that do arrive late Friday are breaking down. On Friday night, Alyeska conducts its first test of chemical dispersants. They missed the target. All that is known that first day is that the tanker tried to avoid ice floating in the shipping lanes, and in the process, ran aground on the best-known hazard in the Sound.
We've got 10 miles of open water there, and that vessel to have come over and hit a reef is almost unbelievable. Your children could drive a tanker up through it.
The tanker had to be off course to hit that reef. The thing I don't know is why.
Exxon reveals it was the third mate and not the skipper in command of the ship at the time of the grounding. There are rumors the captain had been drinking. Saturday brings more sun and calm seas. A boom is finally placed around the ship 35 hours after the accident. The contingency plan calls for a containment boom after 5 hours. Even had Alyeska responded faster, there wasn't enough boom at the terminal to contain a spill of this size. The Exxon Baton Rouge is pulled alongside to offload the 40 million gallons of oil still on board the stricken tanker.
We've got 1 million barrels of oil on there, and we aren't going to breathe easy until we get that 1 million barrels off.
Late Saturday afternoon, Exxon conducts its first full test with chemical dispersants designed to break up and sink the oil. But the water is too calm for the dispersants to work. The spill now covers 12 square miles.
48 hours into the spill, there is still not an adequate response. That is unacceptable.
Easter Sunday, the winds are starting to pick up, spreading the slick. Fishermen offer their services to Exxon, but their overtures are ignored.
We've notified Exxon that we have these people on this list. They haven't gotten back to us at all.
Exxon is still banking on dispersants. There's more testing. And finally, on Sunday night, some good news.
Our first dispersant test this morning gave us only mixed results. The second test this afternoon was spectacular.
Sunday night, Exxon prepares for a full-scale chemical assault in the morning. But Monday blows in on 70-mile-an-hour winds. Planes are grounded. Dispersants are no longer an option. The slick spreads to 40 square miles.
It's unbelievable. That slick is moving like it's on a superhighway.
The spill is out of control, and the war of words begins.
The industry's response, and particularly Alyeska Pipeline's response, was absolutely inadequate.
The Exxon response team now numbers over 100 managers,
The
supervisors.
pattern here has been a lot of hoopla about the numbers of boats, the numbers of people being trained to do work. What I want to see is some results.
This should have been the easiest spill in the world to clean up.
Is Exxon Shipping Company prepared to reimburse commercial fishermen?
You won't have a problem. I don't care if you believe that or not. That's the truth. Try it.
In the village of Cordova, Exxon executives mix with fishermen about as well as oil mixes with water.
Bear with me.
I want to know why Exxon and the rest of these people were so adamant about not hiring local people with their boats that were ready to go out and save their own fishery.
We have hired 300 and some people locally, and we will hire at least that many more, in my opinion.
But the fishermen of Cordova are not waiting for Exxon. 25% of the town's fleet leaves port in an all-out effort to save the Sound's salmon hatcheries. Their work pays off. The fry are protected behind walls of boom, safe for another few weeks before they must leave the hatchery and take their chances in open water. Salmon season is still 6 weeks away. Fishermen were expecting a record $150 million season. Now, nothing is certain.
We're not in a position to take this kind of a blow. It'll wipe Cordova and everyone in it right off of the map.
Nothing can protect the herring now just arriving in Prince William Sound. The herring fishery is shut down. To villagers like Fred Komkoff, the loss will do more than hurt the pocketbook. His family has fished these waters for generations. The Exxon Valdez sits right on top of one of his favorite halibut spots. In the Aleut village of Tatitlik, there is fear. Fear that a way of life has been altered, perhaps forever.
This has been home. And I think there's going to be changes.
By the end of the first week, the rumors prove true. Blood tests taken 11 hours after the grounding indicate skipper Joseph Hazelwood was legally drunk. Exxon fires the skipper as the first oil begins to wash up on Night and Naked Islands.
Crude Hill Bay crude. And we haven't seen one live animal in this whole cove. There should be gulls, there should be sea lions. Haven't even heard the sound of a bird.